Hello everyone, my name is Emily Herring and I'm the naturalist with Marshall County Conservation. I hope that you're enjoying winter so far this year. Winter is one of my favorite times to be outside. It often feels that we get stuck in our house, and going outside even just for a little walk, getting some fresh air helps you feel better. So I always encourage people to go outside and help beat those winter blues. Today I'm going to talk to you just a little bit briefly about snowshoeing. If you want to check out snowshoes out here at the Nature Center or sign up for a snowshoeing kit, we have those available, and we would love to encourage you to explore our trails here at the Grimes Farm as well as other parks in the county. So to talk a little bit about snowshoeing, for me personally, I started snowshoeing, goodness, I don't know if I want to say how many years ago. Probably 15 years ago, I got a pair of snowshoes for Christmas. Back then, there was really only one pair of snowshoes you could get as a female, and so there wasn't a lot of options. Snowshoeing has become much more popular over the years, and there's lots of different varieties that you can choose from depending on what you want to do and what kind of bindings you like. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. The origin of snowshoes is unknown. They have been around for a long period of time. They started off as just a simple plank of wood, and they have evolved greatly over time. Native Americans, of course, used them as well, and their designs were all different shapes and sizes depending on where they lived in the United States and what they used them for. The whole premise of snowshoes is for flotation. When we look at animals like the polar bear, Arctic hare, they have really big feet that help them stay above the snow, and they don't sink into the snow. And that's what snowshoes do for humans as well. For that reason, snowshoes are based off of your weight. So the bigger person, a taller person who weighs more will need bigger shoes than a child because their weight doesn't require as much flotation to sink. So when you call us and you sign up for things or you want to check out your snowshoes, we're going to ask your weight. It's not because we really want to know, it's just want to make sure that you get the right size of snowshoes so that way your experience is enjoyable. Now, when you go out snowshoeing, there's some things you need to take into consideration. One, know what the weather's going to be like. We want to make sure you stay safe, so check the weather forecast before you go. Make sure there's no storms coming, nothing that might hurt or harm you when you're out and about in our parks. Second of all, dress appropriately. When you're out in winter, it's important to stay warm. When you get snowshoeing, you'll warm up pretty quickly. So dress in layers, number one. That way, as you get hot, you can unzip your coat, you can take off layers to help so you don't get too sweaty, because if you get cold, then if you get sweaty, you're more likely to get cold. Also, make sure that you wear synthetic or animal-based clothes. Now, what that means is wool, polyester, a lot of like the wicking clothes that you can purchase today are great because they dry quickly. Things like cotton don't. We always have the saying cotton kills, and the reason why is cotton is a plant. It comes from a plant, and plant sucks up water, and when they suck up water, they hold on to it and they don't dry quickly. So cotton, if you get sweaty and you're wearing cotton, you're going to get cold faster. So try to wear things like wool and other synthetic blends. Make sure you tell someone where you're going and when you'll be back. If something happens and we want to make sure that you've let somebody know where you're at, so that way if you don't come back at the right time, they know where to come look for you. It's the number one safety thing to do no matter what time of year. Now, for the gear, snowshoeing, like I said, based on your weight. These are the snowshoes we have out at the Nature Center. They have a pretty easy binding to use. They adjust to all different shoe sizes, so we don't really necessarily need to know your shoe size. I do suggest wearing shoes that are waterproof, so that way your feet don't get wet because they still will be in the snow. And so the parts of the snowshoe, the decking, the binding, the crampons, these help to be able to get traction in the wintertime. So even if there's not a ton of snow, snowshoes are pretty good to walk into so you don't slip and slide around. Another gear item you may want to consider purchasing if you really get into snowshoes is gaiters. Lots of times when you wear snow pants, they have a built-in gaiter too, but if you're going into really deep snow, these help to get snow out of your pants. They go around your ankle and hook underneath your boot. And they're also great in the summertime if you're walking through shrubby areas and you don't want to get poked in the leg by thorny bushes. So gaiters are another possible option if you want to keep the snow out of your shoes. Now, I'm going to show you a quick video on how to put these on. So when you come out here, you can grab your snowshoes and you can be ready to go. So one of the hardest parts about snowshoeing is putting on your snowshoes when your hands are cold. So I strongly suggest that you practice putting your snowshoes on before you go out, so that way you know how the bindings work and your hands don't get cold before you can get moving. So to start off, I want to show you how to put these on, so that way you'll be ready to go. Now, I find that it's easiest just to put them on if you can go down on one knee. That's one of the reasons why I wear snow pants, is to help keep my pants dry when I'm getting my snowshoes on. And also, sometimes you fall down when you snowshoe, so it's nice to have a pair of pants that can help keep you dry. So with your snowshoe, what you want to do is you want to put your foot in here, and you'll see that there's a spot that says ball of foot here. So you're going to put the ball of your foot right there, and I like to secure my toe first. So then what you do, and you'll see that there's these hooks, these silver hooks, those go on the outside of your foot. So you put the binding strap underneath that hook and pull it tight. Now you can pull it too tight and it's uncomfortable, but you want it tight as possible because otherwise they'll come unfastened. So once you have your toe secured, you're going to move to the back of your snowshoe and do the exact same thing. You'll know that notice there's these binding clips right here, and that's where the extra strap goes. So you pull your strap tight, put that metal peg into one of the holes, and then put your strap in the clip. Then the last one I do is my ankle. Hook it underneath the hook. Make sure that strap holder is on this side of the hook. You don't want it over here, it won't do you much good. Pull it tight, get that silver peg into one of the holes, kind of push it down, slide the strap into the clip, and you're ready to go. If you have any questions about putting them on or about snowshoeing in general, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to get you out in our parks this winter.